You know, a big problem is that many of us assume we are right. That we assume we know what we're talking about as soon as we open our mouth and say something. We just assume our ideas, for the most part, we assume they're right, that they're correct, that we have analyzed all the data sufficiently. But I don't think so. I don't think so. I think a lot of times we have not analyzed the data sufficiently. We've been told things by people we trust and find reliable sources. Our friends, our family, the TV shows we watch, right? Our Twitter feeds. We are told what to think, or encouraged what to think by just even peer pressure is huge. So we haven't really analyzed stuff that we take for granted and assume we're right about and start spouting about, whatever side you're on. It's too automatic pilot. We go to our default mode of going, oh yeah, I know what I'm talking about, and you need to like listen and do what I'm telling you to do, or think what I'm telling you to think. But we don't really think. A lot of us, many of us, all of us, at various times and aspects and to various degrees, we just assume we're right. And now I suggest as an exercise, don't make that assumption. As soon as you hear yourself, try to hear yourself insisting on being right about something, and ask yourself, wait a second, time out, let me step back, let me think about this. Is there a possibility I could be wrong? Heaven forbid. Does that make me an unworthy character of some sort? A weakling of some sort? If I were to acknowledge that geez, I really hadn't thought it through, and I'm thinking it through now, and it makes sense. It makes sense to do it that way, or to think that way. We've got these knee-jerk reactions, these automatic pilot reactions, and our thoughts are automatic. We don't challenge them, and I think we need to. I think we need to like take a moment and step back and look through the biases, the filters of our biases, our previous assumptions, prejudices, judgments, prejudgments, prejudices, prejudgments, our expectations, our resentments, our grievances from the past, our assumptions that people don't change. What they did in the past, they'll do in the future, so let's judge them now based upon the past, not who they present themselves today. Man, it's all very complicated. Yeah. Don't assume. Don't assume you know what you know. Step back. Let me analyze this. Wait a second. How would I feel if somebody did that to me? How would I feel if somebody did that to my family? Maybe? Wow, I would think they would have more compassion. Oh, well, maybe I should have more compassion. We need to second guess ourselves. And then if we think, okay, I've thought this through, and I really believe, as much as I can know, that I filtered out all this other stuff, and that I'm just being as objective as possible. That's all I can do is be as objective as possible, and I believe I have, and therefore I'm now going to speak my mind. I can accept that. But a lot of times we don't do that. We're spouting and babbling and attacking and judging, and wait a second. Take a moment, step back. Could I be kidding myself? Could these be biases from the past? Could these be prejudices that, like all those people with the Harvey Weinstein thing. Now they come out, that Quentin Tarantino, 15 years ago, I knew about this stuff. I could have said something. Jane Fonda, a year ago, I knew about this stuff. I could have said something. Angelina Jolie, I could have said something. Yeah, well, those thoughts were there back then. We need to act on them then. Right? Had they thought back then, wait a second, let me try to project forward and what? There could be other people who this isn't good. There could be other women that are affected by this. Lives could be damaged. This isn't good. I think somehow we need to expose this now. That you need to step back and think what your motives are when you do things. We all have to do that so we don't, make mistakes. Right?